This is the Travel and Tourism Show on Star FM.
Good evening and welcome to the Travel and Tourism Show. I'm Mazwi Shamu. Happy New Year to you all. I have really missed being on the show and have missed you all dearly. I hope everyone has had a good holiday and ka January disease akaskunyanya. Link up with me on my social platforms at Mazwi Shamu on Twitter and Mazwi Shamu on Facebook, or you can join the conversation on the WhatsApp platform 0734 610 613. We are so privileged tonight to have on the show Dr. Kaseke. Happy New Year to you, Dr. Kaseke, and welcome to the show.
Oh, same to you.
Thank you. As we've come out of the Christmas season, this was a very different Christmas season. There was a lot of excitement and joy and happiness amongst people. I had plenty of people talking about coming home. Tell us, what were the numbers like of people coming into the country?
Okay, fine. I think that was not just an excitement. I think it was real. Because I happened to have also traveled to one of our tourism capital, Victoria Falls, during the festive season. I drove from here to Bulawayo, then from Bulawayo to Victoria Falls. And I think what I saw, I've never seen that before. Even the players in the resort town, I stayed at Victoria Falls Hotel. I can tell you that at times I failed to have a breakfast because you had to book.
Wow.
For breakfast, even if you were staying there. So it was quite exciting. They all were very happy, from the general management to his own staff. And they were saying that this is the best Christmas or festive season ever. So people came. People came from all over the world, especially Zimbabweans who were actually in the diaspora, we have not come to Zimbabwe. Some Zimbabweans I met, they said they've not been in Zimbabwe for 11 years. And they are back for the first time to just come and celebrate what they see as a real dawn of a new era in the political dispensation.
Wow, that is very interesting. And I think more so for us in the tourism industry, because people coming in, these numbers mean money. And at the moment, I think I stand to be corrected by you, we are already the main GDP contributor, are we?
No, I think we are number two.
We are number two?
Number two, and we are contributing 11% to GDP.
Wow. So this should boost it up even more.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. There is one thing that you mentioned. You said that at times you failed to get breakfast. Does that mean that we are probably not prepared for situations like this?
No, there's no way. There's no way we could have prepared for that. Even if we had prepared for that, it was just the excessive number of people.
Wow.
The same restaurant that feeds people when the hotel is full, it was the same restaurant that they were using. And I think the number of people who came this time around, it was overwhelming. It was definitely overwhelming to the extent that if you don't book your breakfast the previous night, you can only maybe get a seat in the restaurant after 11.
Wow. That is shocking, and it's also great news.
Yeah, it was. It was great for us.
Yeah. How much do you have figures that show how much of those numbers contribute to the domestic tourism market?
No, the domestic tourists were also there. There were quite a number of people from Zimbabwe who were on local holiday. And I think if I talk of how much and how many, I think it was 50-50.
Okay.
50 foreigners, 50 the locals.
So regardless of the fact that our resorts locally are still highly priced, we're still getting in good numbers coming through.
Yeah, especially during this festive season, I could not understand how so much and so many people were there. And I think it was exciting, although of course, yes, we must admit, for our domestic people, I think the prices are too high for them.
Okay. So at the moment, everyone is talking about, in different ministries, about 100-day plans.
Yes.
What has the tourism board got in place for the 100-day period?
Okay, when the president talked about it, the following day our minister came from cabinet and he said this is real, we must come up with 100-day plans, and we have done our 100-day plans, but it is part of the minister's presentation, which I must say our targets were approved by cabinet, and we are now working on really getting the job done. And we have really looked at even domestic tourism that we've just been talking about. We are simply saying that we need to make sure that there are domestic packages that can attract the domestic market, where the domestic market can also enjoy the holidays, not only during the festive season, but also during the low season, especially so during the low season, where the hotels are not too busy. Why don't we fill our hotels with our local people, charging them a very affordable, maybe to say low rate, it might not be very accurate to say, an affordable rate, which compares very much with what other countries are doing for their domestic markets.
Yeah,
we are not very much looking at the domestic market as a local market, because Zimbabwe is a dollarized market, unlike other countries where they've got their own currency and they don't pay hotels in dollars. But ourselves, when you go to a hotel, whether you're a foreigner, you are a local, you are supposed to be paying dollars. And that makes a big difference between us and Botswana. It makes a big difference between us and Zambia, which charges their locals in kwacha. It makes a big difference between us and any other country in the region. So for our domestic market, I think it was too very pricey. Very, very pricey. I think the prices has to be adjusted for the domestic market. And is one of the things that we're going to do during the 100-day targets.
I think that's a key factor. I've noticed that outside the country, international destinations, their main markets are the domestic market. If you go to China, for example,
same with us.
You really look like a foreigner. You look totally out of place. And they embrace and enjoy their domestic markets.
That is true.
Okay, recently we heard of Spanish investors coming in to do business. How has that progressed? How did that go?
Okay, these are mainly tour operators who are saying that Zimbabwe is ready for business, who they are responding to our call that Zimbabwe is ready for business, and they are responding to what has happened in the month of November, where we had the Operation Restore Legacy, which has actually shocked the whole world, that the military can be so much admired by its own people, that the military can act in such a professional manner, in such a very, very peaceful manner. And whatever one calls it, it doesn't matter. But what it is, it has really restored order in this country, to the extent that when I went to Victoria Falls, we were complaining last time when I was here, I was complaining of the numerous police roadblocks. And as told you, I drove from here to Bulawayo and from Bulawayo to Victoria Falls. You would not see the roadblocks that we used to see. And I must say that I enjoyed with my family driving on our own roads. These roads were now a hot potato. People were shunning the roads, but they had no option. If you're a Zimbabwean and you want to go to a certain destination, you had no other option. But the police were really, really making it very difficult for ourselves, the locals. But it was very astonishing to the visitors. They are coming from their own countries, and they look at how they are welcomed, from the manner they look at things from their own countries, where we are going to markets. Markets are where we get the tourists. When they are in their own countries, which are our markets, and they come here, they see something that looks like a police state. It was quite bad. But if you look at this festive season, there were no police roadblocks. Even in Victoria Falls, we used to see 3 roadblocks between the town and the airport. Not even a single roadblock between the town and the airport. And I think it was amazing, and amazingly so. I think, I sincerely hope that the police will maintain this level of non-interference with the motoring public. But I'm not saying that we don't need security. We need security. It is paramount. If they are conducting roadblocks, they must not just be for fines, for money. They must have roadblocks for a specific purpose. There can be an incident that might happen. We need to see people being secured by our police. We don't mind having 1 or 2 roadblocks between Harare and Bulawayo. We don't mind that. But to have 26 roadblocks between Harare and Bulawayo because police were looking for money, that was unacceptable, and it was too much. So basically, we are saying that the people from Spain we talked about, they were coming here because they heard our call for Zimbabwe being open for business. But we are talking about Spanish who came. But more interestingly, during the Christmas, towards Christmas, which not told you, also 2 operators from Britain, 27 of them came.
Wow.
They have never been here before, and they came saying, we want to now package Zimbabwe from the United Kingdom. So the outlook from a tourism point of view, because of this operation and Restore Legacy, I think the major beneficiary of this new political dispensation is none other than tourism. Tourism will benefit the most.
I really liked what you said when you were talking about the roadblocks.
Yeah.
The courtesy that the military showed on the roads. I cannot even count the number of people who said that we have never been treated so well.
Yeah,
we have never been greeted and appreciated, and have people apologizing for inconveniencing us. And that's a key factor, I think, for tourism in terms of customer service and customer care.
Yes.
And people will want to come back. Just taking a rabbit trail now, are there plans in your 100-day plan to up our customer service levels? Zimbabweans are already known as being people-friendly.
It's like you have peeped at our document. With those plans are there in terms of quality and customer service management. It's in the document, and I agree with you. I witnessed what we're talking about the military on the checkpoints. We had hoped that they would remain for some time, but unfortunately, that is not their mandate. They've said now they are returning the mandate to its rightful owners, the police. And I think so far, the acting Commissioner General of Police, Comrade Matanga, has done so well in terms of pronouncing what they intend to do. If they seriously do what the acting Commissioner General of the police has said, I think the police will then be equal to the task. But it's not only the police. There are other people who are also supposed to be, who must attune their actions to the new dispensation. That is VID. During just before Christmas, I was going home here in town to where I stay in Glenlon, and I found almost 18 to 20 cars stopped. And I said to the policeman, but this is contrary to what acting Commissioner General said. He said, no, it's not our roadblock. I said, then whose roadblock is it? He said, it's theirs. And I said, who are theirs? Who are these who are saying theirs? He said, it's a VID roadblock. But if police are to get the admiration that they are seeking now from the people by providing the right for policing policies, they must not allow to be abused by VID. VID asks for police to escort them, and VID mount a roadblock, and they are doing things that are totally contrary to the policy and philosophy of this new government. I don't think this new government is for that. VID must also attune themselves to the philosophical thinking of the president and the new political dispensation. They are out of order, and I think they must be brought to order. VID must be brought to order. They cannot stop 21 vehicles at one point saying they're checking for vehicle fitness. No, I think that is not acceptable. They must check for fitness. I'm not saying that they must allow unroadworthy vehicles to be on the road, but to stop 21 vehicles, making them stop for several hours, not minutes, several hours, and trying to detain. This is what we don't like. Tourists will not like this. And fortunately, there was no vehicle that looked like a tourist vehicle. But I think Zimbabweans need to be respected as well.
But you never know. You never know. They could be visiting friends and relatives and borrowing a car.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Dr. Kaseke, we've run out of time. I'm going to have to stop you here tonight, but we are going to continue with this conversation. So please stay tuned and tune in next week when we continue the conversation with Dr. Kaseke. Our WhatsApp platform numbers are 0734 610 613. Link up with me at Mazwi Shamu on Twitter or Mazwi Shamu on my Facebook page. Until next time, happy traveling.
Thank you, Mazwi. Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in to the Travel and Tourism Show on Star FM.